Well, on the topic of mermaids.
Mermaids, do they exist? What would they be like? Would you want to be a mermaid?
Have you ever had a ghost encounter? Or like a paranormal encounter?
No, not even close.
Neither have I, no. But my friend was just telling me about an encounter her friend had, which creeped me out. But I was trying to think if I had any, and I really, like, not even a glimmer.
Do ghost stories scare you?
No, not unless they're inherently creepy. Like, I mean, most of them I hear, like, I've heard friends before who say they either, like, see their dead relative or an ancestor, or they feel something. But I've not ever heard of one that's bad. But I will say that the scariest form of horror movies for me are paranormal ones. So where there's a ghost versus, I know some of my friends say that they're the scariest they see are real life ones with, people.
Like a realistic premise.
Yeah, people are in the house and coming to get you. Like those, I'm all for those because even though I know I could never win against the attackers, there's like a little bit more of a realism to it to me. So I'm like, oh, they're just people. They can't do too much. But if it's a ghost, they can do whatever they want because they're a ghost. We don't know their powers.
Yeah, so I've changed my mind on this over the years because for a while, the realistic one scared me because it's realistic. It's like this is a situation that could potentially, but unlikely, happen to you. And so it's more scary than a paranormal thing because I know that ghosts don't exist, that demons don't exist, that magic, the way that these movies depict it doesn't exist. But
that's wrong.
Now I switched back. Now I think the paranormal is more scary.
Because it exists.
Not because it exists,
okay.
But just the what it represents is like you have no control over your life. And that's one of the scariest things in life. So it's almost more realistic in the paranormal movies because we're all just afraid that we have no control over what happens to us.
And ghosts could exist. We don't know for certain.
But on a deeper level, it's about the metaphor of your life and what it means to be a human.
And scary ghosts.
Do you believe that ghosts exist in any sense at any level?
I don't know. I guess I would have to, if I had to say yes or no, so like my answer would be I don't know, and I don't think anyone can know. But if I had to choose a yes or no, I would go with yes.
Why do you think no one can know?
I just think there hasn't been any definitive proof, so there must be a reason that we can't definitively know.
Like on a scientific level we can't know? But like on a personal level people do know? Is that what you mean?
I guess. Like I don't think we'll ever know as a complete society or that yes, they do exist or they do not exist. And I don't know also if that is because maybe certain people are more attuned to the spiritual frequencies or what have you. And maybe that's why. But yeah, if I had to say yes or no, I'd still say yes, even though I've never had an experience. But I've had friends who have, and I trust their intuition on matters. And I think that maybe they're just more attuned to it than I am.
Okay, I have 2 questions. First is, if ghosts are real, what do you see a ghost manifesting as? In other words, what do you believe is potentially real for a ghost? Do you believe they can pick up objects or close doors, or are they visions? Do they touch you? Is it cold spots? How do you think a ghost would appear to you?
I think of it more as energy. So not necessarily that it can do anything or that you could even see it, but maybe you could feel it. And maybe it could, maybe that could manifest as seen, but I'm not certain about moving things. I think that doesn't make sense.
So you think a ghost is more likely to be if you have friends and family that passed away, they're watching over you?
Yeah.
So a ghost is kind of feeling their presence?
Yeah.
In some
And I like to believe that they're all
abstract way.
Because I don't want to get into the realm of demons and bad spirits. Because maybe those are the ones that can move things. Because let's be real, if any can move things and do things, it's the bad ones, not the good ones. Because that's how it would be.
That's how ghosts work.
Suck.
Because obviously the bad ghosts, they have more energy because they're angry.
Isn't
and
that
they just
sad,
harness
though?
the anger.
Like, shouldn't it
into
be,
movement.
shouldn't the opposite work, where you're just so good and happy that you're able to move things and you can go and touch the shoulder of your, loved one that you're missing, and that would be nice. Never the case, though. Never the case.
It's a tragedy of the ghost.
Yeah.
The ghost world.
Honestly.
Second question, you said that you trust your friends and their experience of what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why do I trust my friends?
It's a
good question.
Weird why. Why do you think that they are trustworthy in this particular instance? Like, because there's the difference between, like, you know that a friend won't lie to you about, like, I don't know, a more tangible situation, but why do you trust people's memories of these events?
Well, if they're my friends, I just have an inherent trust in them.
I guess here's the situation, because here's the most common ghost story that I hear. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I've heard this from many friends. I'm not sure I have many friends with ghost experiences. But when I listen to stories about people's experiences, the most common thing is, I was laying in bed, it's an ordinary night, nothing crazy going on, and I'm just about to drift off to sleep when all of a sudden I feel something grab my shoulder, and I roll over and nothing's there. But I knew, because it was my left shoulder, that was where my mom always used to grab my shoulder growing up. And I knew that was my mom grabbing my shoulder right then. And then I fell asleep and I don't remember anything else. That's the most common story. And it's always this person who's about to fall asleep when all of a sudden their brain freaks out and they have the ghost experience. In my opinion, they're just about to fall asleep. It's sort of like, you ever almost fall asleep and you feel like you're about to fall off of something? It's like your brain sometimes just like catches and trips over itself, and it tries to figure out what just happened, but it's just wrong.
Well, I would not trust that, no. But I will have to say, none of my friends have ever said that as an experience. But I don't trust that because that's kind of, I think, broaching into sleep paralysis. And like one of the common factors of sleep paralysis is you like feel either like your limbs being pushed down, or you'll see a figure or something like that. That's just a common sleep paralysis trait. So I would not trust that. But for instance, my friend had an experience where she was fully awake and she thought she saw one of her family members who passed, and saw completely him or something like that. I can't remember the exact particulars, but she wasn't, about to fall asleep or anything. But also, like I said, she's someone who is more, I think, attuned to spiritual things, which is why I would believe it. But
I just feel like this is the most convenient excuse for people that do believe in ghosts. It's that, first of all, they always happen in these very specific scenarios. So maybe she wasn't almost asleep, but she was probably alone. It was probably not daylight.
I think it was twilight.
Okay.
So, I mean,
and then
not night, not day.
The other thing is, then I can say, well, I don't believe that you really had that experience. And the person can just rebut, oh, well, you're not spiritual enough to see a ghost, so you'll never see a ghost because you don't believe in it in the first place. I feel like that's the most convenient excuse.
So you think everyone, it's just a hard no for ghosts for you?
Yeah, I just don't believe in ghosts at all. There's no evidence to say that ghosts exist.
I don't know if you want to put that out there, because the ghosts are going to be mad.
I have been putting that out there for years in my head.
Yeah, but now you put it out loud.
If this is what finally makes a ghost appear, I feel like that will be worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's it proves, it's hard evidence then.
How do you feel about Ouija boards?
Garbage.
Okay. But see, I think I share your opinions on that, though, having used one multiple times. I thought I found a cool best friend named Ethan. He would come back a lot of the times to talk with me and my friends, but I don't think it was really anyone.
The one time you were trying to tell me that Ouija boards were real, and we did it, and you said, oh, you can do it too, and it will prove, like, as long as you don't move it yourself, we can actually, you can be a part of it. And then we found a spirit in the dining room of our current house that is only 20 years old, and nobody else has lived here.
Was it Ethan? It was probably
No,
Ethan.
It wasn't Ethan. It was what was that guy's name? Oh, it was Faust.
Oh, Faust! Oh, my good friend Faust.
It was Faust.
I missed him.
Yeah, so we said, Faust. Is there any spirit here in this room?
And Faust said,
and we go over.
He raised his hand.
He slowly moves over to yes, And we say, what is your name, spirit? And then we go across the board. F. Okay. There's a couple of F names. F-A.
No.
Interesting. Okay. F-A-U. Ooh, F-A-U. I can't think of any F-A-U's. And it ended up being Faust. F-A-U-S-T.
Hey, there's one F-A-U-S-T. There's one name. Faust.
I guess.
He was a nice guy, I think. I can't remember. I think Ethan died in a car crash, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember how Faust died. There is apparently, though, I have not tried it yet. There's supposed to be a way that you can definitively tell. You have to blindfold yourself, though. And you have to spin around and then put the board upside down, I think. And then you do it while someone's watching to see if it actually makes any sense.
And then I feel like you just get 0 letters.
Well, that's the point.
You're
not supposed to get anything because it doesn't
real.
work. Yeah. Because everyone says, even though, I've done it with my friends before, we all say we've not pushed it anywhere. And I think we're all telling the truth when we say that. We're not pushing it. There's like a phenomenon where you're just inadvertently pushing it to what you want it to be.
Think about this. You're like a living, breathing creature. And just like try for 1 second to sit perfectly still and not move a single muscle. It's literally impossible. There are muscles that fire without you. You have no control over them. Like your heart. And it's the same thing. Like if you just try to hold your hand out and keep it steady, even that's hard. Like some people have steadier hands than others. But
doctors should Ouija. They should Ouija. They'd be the perfect
You're
candidate.
Still going to have the tension where it's going to shake a little bit. There's sort of micro movements. So that's how that stuff works. They just add up over time, and they probably get a little bit of input from the people also. But that's the thing. In the end, it's like I just don't trust humans' ability to recollect these types of events. Like there's so much evidence to show that humans are really, really bad at like putting together events and memories and all sorts of that stuff. And when you throw into the mix like no lighting and sleepiness and all this other stuff, it's just like your brain is constantly trying to make patterns and it's gonna make some misses. And that's what I think ghost stories are.
We've proven it. It's done. We have it. There's no ghosts. Definitive.
It's not sad to me because it doesn't ruin ghost stories for me. Because
actually,
a good story is still a good story.
It's probably happy that there aren't ghosts. Well, I guess it also depends on your view of the afterlife. But you could be saying it's happy there's no ghosts because they've moved on to another place.
Yeah, if that's how you want to spin the story, that's...
Well, I don't want to get into where you're going to go where we just all die and it's just darkness.
It's not darkness. It's nothing.
Don't even get me started on the concept of nothingness. Oh my God.
You can't comprehend it, so you might as well not even try.
Yeah, but when you inadvertently try. You always try. I always try. And then I get stuck in a little loophole, and it's terrible. Have you ever gotten stuck in a loop of thinking about your name and why you listen for your name and you respond to your name, and it's just this like word, and and there's other people with the same name as you, but like your name identifies you? It's crazy. I was at Greg's driving school, right? Trying to learn about how to drive. And then I just looked down at my paper, saw the name Sarah, and said, "Oh, dear Lord." And I got
start tripping.
About 10 minutes of just stuck in my own brain.
The drugs kicked in at Greg's driving school.
It was bad. I pulled out sometime when you're talking about, traffic stops or something, but that was a hard one to get past. And so now I just don't think about it anymore. But sometimes it's like nothingness. It creeps up on you.
Words are definitely interesting. And sometimes this happens where, it's like subconscious when you hear words. You just understand them automatically. You don't have to think about it very hard. But every now and then you'll get that effect where, like, if you say a word too many times, it stops. It has no meaning anymore. And I think that's like what you're talking about. It's like all of a sudden your brain just hears the word and it's like, wait, that's just a sound. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what does that sound mean?
But it's like you're programmed to respond to that sound as your name.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
It's weird. Like when you listen to somebody speak, it doesn't feel like we're just making noises, different types of noises, but that's what it is. And we just understand it automatically because we've been learning it for years. But like if you listen to somebody speak another language, it sounds like just random noises.
Mm-hmm. Gibberish.
So yeah, it's kind of amazing that we somehow made it into something so much bigger than just noises. Since it was just July 4th, I do want to talk a little bit about the competitive eating.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Well, not necessarily just hot dogs.
Oh, sorry. That's all I can contribute. Hot dogs.
I know all that you can contribute right now is that Joey Chestnut won his 11th championship.
72?
74 hot dogs in 10 minutes. It's a ridiculous dog per minute rate. I think 7 or 8 dogs per minute.
No idea.
7.4? I mean, the math is actually pretty easy, isn't it? 74 divided by 10. Anyways, my question is, do you consider competitive eating a sport?
No.
Wow, okay.
You're probably talking to the wrong person here because I think competitive eating is very weird. It makes no sense to me. And it just looks kind of gross
So
when
you
watch
think
it.
it's definitively not a sport?
Yeah.
Why? Can you justify it?
Well, I was going to say I just don't think it's necessary, but I guess all sports aren't necessary, are they?
Let me back up and I'll try to argue the other way. I've thought about this for a bit recently because I've been watching a lot of these competitive eating videos. It's really interesting to see what they can do. And I basically talked myself into the position that it is a sport. From all my normal definitions of sport, it fits. It's physical, right? Like most people think of sports as physical competitions between each other. Competitive eating is a physical sport. You have to physically train your stomach to be able to hold that amount of food. You have to train your jaw. You have to basically train to eat, which is a physical act. It's competitive. You're competing against other people. It's measurable. It's objectively measurable. Unlike some other sports like ice skating or gymnastics is it's just a rating by judges is how you decide who wins.
What if there was a rating for competitive eating? Oh yeah, you ate that hot dog. Great. That was perfect.
Just like style points.
Yeah. Oh, you had 2 in,
you get a
and
bonus.
then you dunked it in the water.
Plus 2 dogs.
You used water that was colored, food colored.
You know, as an aside, it looks like most competitive eaters don't use water as their drink of choice.
Yeah, I saw most of them looked colorful, so I thought maybe they're lemonades.
Most
or
people,
juices.
as far as I can tell, use some sort of juice or like Gatorade, Powerade type thing. And I think the reason is with most competitions, it depends on what food you're eating, of course, but with a lot of them, like a hot dog one, you're eating a lot of savory food and the sweetness of the juice helps cut through some of the monotony of hot dog and bun.
Because you get tired of eating 74 hot dogs.
You have to force yourself.
So I can definitely come on board with the fact that it's considered a sport, but I'm still adamant that it should not be a sport. Like I don't think it should exist in general. It's just weird. Like forcing your body to eat all this food.
Yeah, but to turn that argument around, you could say that about almost anything that's not necessary for survival. Like, is it weird that people play in the World Cup? Like, yeah, it's pretty weird that we get, a bunch of grown men on 2 sides of a pitch and they just kick a ball back and forth until it goes into a small rectangle at the other end.
Yeah,
it's bizarre. When you get down to like the details of any sport, it's like, who came up with this?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't talk to me about this. I'm not a big sports fan. I'm very particular on what sports I like, and I think sports fans in general are often crazy. In the most loving way, I say that.
I almost think that competitive eating is like
the pinnacle of sports.
It's like the quintessential sport because, like, as humans, eating is necessary for survival. And people have made that into a competition, into a sport.
But see, I see it as wasteful because they're eating all these hot dogs they don't need. And
that doesn't necessarily make it not a sport. You can argue that there are reasons to not do it or that it's not interesting to you.
But it's still sport. That's fine. I'll let it be known as a sport. But it's a sport that I will not watch.
I'm open to any counter arguments that it's not a sport, but honestly, I can't think of any.
No, I mean, I think it's like cheerleading. Wasn't like a long years ago that was argued it wasn't. I guess some people probably still say it's not a sport because it's not competitive. I don't even know what the argument is.
Like when you start to look at these, like, I'm not sure what the word is, but like more alternative sports or activities, like things that go beyond running, jumping, team sports. There are things that everybody agrees are sports, but things like professional chess players or professional poker players, some people consider those things to be sports. And in my mind, they don't, at first glance, I would say, no, they're not a sport. Do you think that chess is a sport?
I don't know what else to call it.
A game? But what's the line between a game and a sport?
I don't know. I think of sports as physical, but I'm not sure if that's in the definition of sports. But then competitive eating does fit under that, but poker and chess then would not be.
Generally, I think of sports as being physical.
We don't know. They could train a lot for chess. You know, they do 100 push-ups a day to get in the mental and physical. You know, they need to be able to move their hands. They got to be agile with their hands.
I don't think that you can argue that there's a physical aspect of chess.
I don't know. You have to move your hands. I'm just saying.
But there's no doubt that chess players have to practice.
You have to squat because you're sitting in a chair a lot.
Okay, no.
You have to do some leg stretches because you have to do back stretches because your back is going to hurt eventually.
I feel like you're offending chess players more than I am right now.
I'm arguing on their behalf.
I'm only questioning whether it's a sport or a game, and you're over here like, but their backs are sore.
Hey, I think, you know what? They're probably happy that they're finally getting the recognition.
I think
that it's a tough game / sport.
The chess players think that you're mocking them.
I'm not.
And honestly, you've just lost the chess demographic.
Oh, gosh darn it.
So all the chess players are in my camp.
I would like to be inclusive.
I think there's an argument to be made that something like chess is a sport, but I don't know.
Have you looked up the definition of sport?
No.
All forms of competitive physical activity or games. So, hey, I was close with the whole physical component, which through casual or organized participation aim to use, maintain, or improve physical ability and skills while providing enjoyment to participants, and in some cases, entertainment for spectators.
So see, then the weird thing is, on the same page it says, the International Olympic Committee recognizes some board games as sports, including chess.
It's physical! See, you thought I was making fun of them, but they do have to do...
It's so obviously not physical. You might as well say everything that you do is physical because it involves you being a person doing some sort of movement.
No, I mean, like, if you just were sitting, laying down, sleeping? Oh, I guess you do move in your sleep.
It's like, by definition, a physical activity.
What if sleeping was a sport? I'd do great.
According to Sport Accord, which is the closest thing to an international agreement on the definition of sport, a sport should have the following criteria. Have an element of competition, obvious. Be in no way harmful to any living creature. That's an odd one.
Okay, hold up. Horse racing? Is that considered a sport?
I'm not sure.
We shouldn't go into horse racing.
Well, let's just see what's on the list. First, let's go through the criteria,
Okay.
Then let's see what's on
I do see equestrian
on the list.
sports.
The third criteria, it must not rely on equipment provided by a single supplier. I'm not really sure what that means. And fourth and finally, it should not rely on any luck element specifically designed into the sport. So I feel like that would eliminate poker from the sport definition, but let's see.
But couldn't you argue that there are tricks that you learn with poker and there's different ways you can play you can count the cards. That's blackjack, actually.
There's no doubt that there's a lot of strategy in poker, but I feel like there's also no doubt that there's luck involved. Although it seems like, I guess they're saying luck specifically designed into the sport.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because there's
luck
poker
in every
isn't
sport.
just luck.
But it says any luck.
No, but I think it just means any kind of luck specifically designed into it. I don't know. I can't argue.
So poker is not specifically designed just because it just so happens that cards...
It's not only luck related.
I don't think that's what it's saying.
Okay.
Sports can be primarily physical, such as rugby or athletics, primarily mind, such as chess or Go, predominantly motorized, such as Formula 1 or powerboating, primarily coordination, such as billiards, or primarily animal-supported, such as equestrian sport. This is a very broad definition of sport, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, they've had to broaden their definition because you got all the competitive eaters coming at you. Though it doesn't say anything about competitive eating, does it?
I think it doesn't, because that one probably has little controversy based off of that criteria. The newest thing here is esports, video game sports. I find it interesting that they have the criteria that it must not be harmful to a living creature. All I can think of is that specifically excludes hunting as a sport.
Oh.
Is there any other thing
That's a good
that it addresses?
point.
I don't think it would count horse racing just because that's not part of the race. It's just a byproduct.
Wow, I'm glad they think of it that way. It's just a byproduct that you're killing horses, racing them too hard. Yeah, that must be to address hunting, because I'm sure at one point it was considered a sport. Or maybe it also means, I don't know, were there any forms of sports that hurt the player?
I don't know. I wish they gave some
examples
and reasoning for why this is the criteria. Honestly, I think you could almost argue anything could be a sport under this.
This is where it's getting too far then, because you could say literally anything. Like, I could invent a game where you just take a clothespin and you put it on a piece of paper. That's a sport. It's not very fun.
If you make it competitive.
Oh, I could make it competitive.
I don't understand.
With myself.
Do you understand the not rely on equipment provided by a single supplier? What does that mean?
You can't advertise. You can't create a sport that's...
Is this like
I have no idea.
An antitrust sport monopoly rule?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know why.
Do you think that esports are sports? Do you think that video games are sports?
No, I would consider it gaming.
Even at a competitive level?
You could have competitive gaming.
I agree with you, actually. For some reason...
First time.
For some reason, under the definitions that we've been talking about, it fits under sports. Mm-hmm. But there's something about it that, in my mind, makes it not fit into what I think of as sport. I think it's having a virtual version of it. It makes it different. It sets it apart somehow. See, video games are interesting, I think, because they have a physical component and a mental component. Mm-hmm. Because there's literally, it's like, how fast can you react to what's going on in the game? And so there's reaction time, there's hand-eye coordination of like hitting the keys in the right order and that sort of thing. And then there's like the mental strategy of, it's basically, most of I think esports are team games, so you have to have...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to have this strategy in mind of like how the game works and that sort of thing.
Can you esport Fallout?
No.
Skyrim?
No.
Assassin's Creed? Why not?
These are single-player games.
Yeah, but you could just have 2 monitors up.
I mean, I guess if you want to do...
long competition.
If you want to call speed runs sports, I guess you could.
No, I don't. It doesn't make sense. But I would. If anyone wants to, sign me up. I'll competitive Fallout any day.
I'm just taking a look at some of the records from Major League Eating.
How do you think you get into that? Is it that you just eat a lot and you're like, oh, I could do this competitively? Or it's like, oh, my idol, Joey Chestnut, eats hot dogs. I want to eat hot dogs too. Are you born into it? Are you born with the innate skill?
I think it's like...
Runs in the family?
Any other hobby, like, you just personally enjoy it. So I think a lot of those people enjoy eating. And then, I don't know, how do you get into any hobby? You slowly get into it and you practice and you get better. And I don't know. I remember a lot of times, like, growing up when we would, we would go out to eat with our neighbors and we get pizza.
Was I invited?
Yeah.
When did we get pizza?
We used to go to Lito's Pizza, like, almost every week. Like, every Friday.
Are you talking about when we used to go to Wendy's every Friday?
No, but before that, we used to go to Lito's Pizza. And me and the other boys, every week we would try to see how many slices of pizza we could eat. It's just like a competitive...
I don't recall this at all. Are you sure I was invited?
You were there, but maybe you're just too young to care.
Yeah, I was probably only like 15.
But what I'm saying 16. Is, like, there's this, like, innate competitiveness to beat each other in anything. And so you just make it like, okay, I bet I could eat more slices of pizza than you can. And so all of a sudden you're eating 12, 13, 14 slices of pizza.
That's a lot of pizza.
But it's Litos, they're like tiny
slices.
If you like eating and you like being competitive like that, and then all of a sudden you find out like, oh, I'm not half bad at this, I bet I could practice and get even better, you go from there. I think this record is notable. 80 chicken nuggets in 5 minutes by Sonia Thomas.
Are they McDonald's chicken nuggets?
It doesn't specifically say.
It's got to be, right?
You have to assume.
I mean, what other chicken nuggets are you going to have? Unless it's like the dinosaur nuggets that you can get, like in the frozen food section.
I'm going to choose to believe that it's McDonald's.
But I kind of like the dinosaur ones. That sounds so nice. All those dinosaurs getting cute.
Oh my god, what a weird record.
Is it the ramen one?
Takaru Kobayashi holds the record for cow brains.
Well, of course, because no one else wanted to eat
them. With 57 in 15 minutes.
Ew.
57 cows died so he could get that record. That's crazy.
Well, I don't think they actually killed them for that.
Well, I mean, it still happened.
That's true. But I'm very hopeful it wasn't like we need to have a competitive cow brain eating contest. We need to line these cows up.
Out of curiosity, how much do you think 57 cow brains weigh?
Do you know the answer?
I do know the answer.
57. I'm going to go 150.
150 what?
Pounds.
150 pounds?
Yeah, is that too much?
You think a human could eat 150 pounds of food? That's the size of another human. That's like putting an entire human's weight into your stomach.
They're competitive eaters. They can do whatever.
I don't need to tell you how wrong you are.
Wait, I'm not sure
order of magnitude off.
Wait, wait, hold on. What did I do? Oh, shoot. Okay, I went, they were 10. Oh, okay, wait. Look, can I say 57 pounds?
You think each one is a pound?
10. No, it's a pound.
How many pounds of food do you think a person can eat?
I have no idea.
It's not close to 50.
Okay. It's 25?
The answer is, you're getting closer. The answer is 17.7 pounds.
So my first answer was a little off.
Your first answer was literally 10 times more.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I think I doubled it in my mind, and then I'm not good with measurements, So, yeah, let's just move away from that now. But that's a lot of brain.
Joey Chestnut has the record for grilled cheese sandwiches in 10 minutes. How many sandwiches do you think he ate?
Did you not learn anything from the cow brains? I'm bad at this kind of game.
Maybe you can rein it in.
How many?
10 minutes grilled cheese sandwiches.
10 minutes grilled cheese. I'm going to go with 50.
That's an excellent guess. 47.
Yes! I was so close.
That's amazing. Both the record and the guess. Personally, I love eating. So, the idea of this, eating competition really appeals to me.
Don't you think it hurts, though? And, they have to... I feel like it can't be enjoyable.
Yeah, so here's my story. So, I've been watching all these YouTube videos of these guys eating so much food. And so one day I was like, I'm not going to go out and try to, see how many grilled cheese I can eat all of a sudden. But I was really craving a donut. And normally I just get one donut and just Is
this when you Snapchat me the 3 donuts?
Yeah.
Okay. You competitive eated them?
Normally I would just get one donut and just savor it and that would be it. And I'm usually pretty careful about how much I eat in a day. But I was like, you know what? I never get donuts. I'm going to get 3 donuts. And I'm just going to eat them all today for lunch. And I don't care. I never do something like that. And I'll just see what it's like to eat 3 donuts. Because I'm watching a guy, he eats 24 donuts. I ate 3 donuts. I wasn't speed eating them. I enjoyed each one.
Leisurely eating.
I ate 3 of them in a row, back to back. And at the end of the third... What?
Any liquid?
No. But by the time I was finishing the third, I was sick to my stomach. I was I don't even think I can go back to work today because I'm so full and I just have this sugar hangover immediately. So this is definitely not pure fun. This is definitely hard.
That happened to me today. I ate 4 pieces of juicy fruit gum in a row and I felt like dying. I'm not even joking. They have I can see the face you're giving me, but it was very sugary and it was a lot of gum. Man, if looks could kill. It was a lot. It was a lot of gum. They weren't the strips either. They're little chunks.
That's probably worse.
Yeah, it was worse.
I mean, less impressive.
No.
Less.
It was worse. It was a higher concentration. It was a lot.
I just want to see if there's any more notable records.
Oh, did you see the old guy who ate the Spam?
Oh, I don't even want to know about that.
That's another one where the case of no one else volunteered for the competition, so he just won by default because everyone was like, no thank you, I do not want to eat Spam. So he holds the record.
Oh wow, this is an impressive number. Matt Stoney holds the record for number of peeps eaten in 5 minutes, and he said it in National Harbor, Maryland. How many peeps do you think he ate in 5 minutes?
Oh my god.
I think this is a surprising number.
It's a lot higher than you think? A lot lower than you think?
This is higher than I think.
I want to go 87.
Wrong. Do you want to guess again? Higher.
113.
In 5 minutes, he ate 255 peeps.
I guess they are small.
I can't even comprehend that.
Do you think he put multiple in his mouth at a time, or just daintily
I think
one?
you have to smash them into a black hole peep. Because
you open a whole packet and you just crush them together into one massive peep.
There's literally no other way to get 255 peeps down in 5 minutes.
How many are in a packet? 6?
5 or 6?
Yeah. Okay, I think, you could probably just smash them.
So that's 51 peeps per minute. That's like a peep every second.
Peeps aren't even that good.
Like, I don't even think I could fit one peep per second in my mouth, let alone swallow it. If you were in an eating competition, what kind of food would you eat?
So am I picking because... See, the question is I could pick something I really like so I can eat a lot of it, or something I hate because maybe I'd get tired of the thing I like if I ate too much of it. See where I'm going here? So should I go...
You don't need to think like the long-term
ramifications.
Oh,
okay. Just one time I can eat...
Yeah.
As much as I want of something?
Yeah. Presumably, it's going to be a food that you like. Imagine you have like a cheat day and you can binge on one food. What would you choose?
I don't know why I'm immediately thinking of gummy bears. I don't even like them that much.
What a horrible choice.
But they seem small. I could eat a lot of them. Oh, you know what I do? I do like tacos or something. I could only eat like maybe 5. 6 tacos. Depends on the tacos.
Okay, so this is not necessarily a legitimate record. It's not on the Major League Eating website, but the record for most gummy bears eaten...
Oh, no, I don't even want to know. This
is...
1,000 in 1 minute. I bet you could just swallow them, like pills. Pop them back.
It looks like, for the record, this woman, whose name is Victoria Yurko, was attempting...
Admire her.
She was attempting to ingest 1,000 gummy bears in under 90 minutes.
Whoa, 90 minutes?
She used half of that time and only consumed 244.
Oh, she got tired?
She didn't even get close.
It's a lot. See, it's pretty impressive.
At the end of the challenge, she said that she would never eat another gummy bear again.
See, it's exactly what I was worried about.
Yeah, but...
I have to choose wisely, so that if that's the case, I'm going to choose, like, olives or something, because I hate olives, and if I never ate them again, I'd be happy. Granted, now I would have to eat olives in the first place, which would be very sad. Maybe I'll stick with the tacos. I'll just pace myself.
Looks like the most olives eaten in 1 minute is 60 by Ashrita Furman.
Is there literally a thing for there's a person for every food item?
I think
at this point
almost every food would have a record. I mean, why not?
How about...
Everybody's probably tried to eat the most of something.
I gotta think about something that would throw them off.
Okay, here is one of my choices. World record for eating peanut butter.
That would be horrible. It's all that feeling, you know, when the peanut butter gets stuck on the roof of your tongue and like roof of your mouth, not your tongue, under your tongue, around the tongue.
It wouldn't be pleasant, and this comes from somebody who loves peanut butter. It would not be pleasant to just eat straight peanut butter.
In Good Mythical Morning, didn't Link do that where he ate like a thing of peanut butter and it like he literally I think they said he
threw up?
No, I don't think so, but like he was having trouble breathing. Like I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to because the peanut butter coats, like you're not supposed to eat that much.
On every record I've seen right now that is a speed record, like how fast can you eat a container of peanut butter or any food really, they all say warning.
Do not attempt?
Yeah, like this is a choking hazard.
There's a double warning for peanut butter though.
So the record for most peanut butter eaten in 1 minute is 378 grams by Andre Ortolf of Germany. Let's see. I have no idea what 378 grams is.
Neither do I.
So let's convert that to pounds. And it is 0.83 pounds. So...
Not as much as the cow brain.
But this is 1 minute. I reckon 0.8 pounds is like close to like that entire...
jar?
Not the biggest size jar, but like the second biggest size jar.
That's a lot.
He ate almost all of that in 1 minute.
I bet he doesn't eat peanut butter anymore. He switched to almond butter.
Ugh, almond butter's gross.
No, it's good if you get maple almond butter.
If you think almond butter is better than peanut butter, you're just deluding yourself.